How's it going, everybody? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson, and today I've got 3 fun and easy riffs for you from Mötley Crüe. Guitar Control is giving away a free chord chart. It's a free download. There's a link down in the description. It's in PDF format with every chord that you could ever need all neatly compiled into one sheet. So you can download it, print it off, throw it in your gig bag, put it wherever you practice, any chord you could ever need at a glance. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look at these. Alright, so first thing, for all 3 of these riffs, we're actually tuned down an entire whole step. So we're going to tune your low E string down to a D, you're going to tune your A string down to a G, your D string down to a C, your G string down to an F, your B string down to an A, and your high E string down to a D. Now, these riffs all can be played in standard tuning just the way that they're written in the tab, but you won't be in the same key. So to be in the same key, you need to tune down a whole step. All right, so the first one we're going to look at is Take Me to the Top. So this one's fairly simple. We've got just a couple of chord shapes. We got like a regular power chord, fifth shape. So the first one we're starting here, we're on the 7th fret of the D string with your first finger and the 9th fret of the G string with your 3rd finger. And we're going to play the open A string twice. And then to that chord. And then we're going to take that chord shape and move it down a whole step. So now your first finger is on the 5th fret and your 3rd finger is on the 7th fret. So you got the... Now, this has got this kind of a swing thing to it. Then the open A string again. And now we're going to do the same G5 here, where we're on the 5th fret of the D string and the 7th fret of the G string. And then we're going to just basically switch these fingers. So our first finger will move from the 5th fret of the D string to the 5th fret of the G string, and your 3rd finger will move from the 7th fret of the G string to the 7th fret of the D string. So that's our first measure. Alright, so then on the second measure, this last chord we played there is tied to the downbeat of the second measure. So that's ringing. Then we hit the A string again. And now we're going to take this chord shape and play it again and then switch it back to how it was before. So first finger will move down a string, 3rd finger up a string. So. And then at the end of it here, we hit the open D string, then the open A string, and hammer onto the 5th fret with your first finger, and then to the 7th fret with your 3rd finger. And that's like a triplet, so that takes care of beat 4. So the whole thing. Alright, so the next one we're going to look at is the riff from Livewire. So this one's here is really simple. So we're going to take our first finger and we're just going to bar it at the 5th fret so it goes across the D and the G string. And then we're going to be pedaling the open A string. So we've got this shape here, and then in a minute we're going to do it, we're just going to move it up a whole step to the 7th fret of the D and the G string. So this starts off on the first measure, we rest, and then we come in on the and of 4 here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's tied to the downbeat of 1, or actually all of beat 1 for the second measure. And then that's where it begins with the repeat. So you got, and then starting on beat 2, we're going to pedal the open A string. 2 and 3 and 4, and then on the and of 4, that again. So you got, so that's the first 3 measures. Or excuse me, the first 4 measures. So on that third measure, we're on our our third time hitting this chord. So the first measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So that fourth measure is a little bit different. And then on the fifth measure, we're at the 5th fret, and it's 1 and 2 and. So we have 2 mute strums. Then to the 7th fret for 3 and. The downbeat of 4 is a mute. And then on the and of 4, we hit that 5, and then that's tied, and that's where the repeat, that's where it goes back to the beginning, the repeat on the second measure. So. All right, and then the last one we're going to look at is riff from Too Fast for Love. So this one here, this is a riff, a sequence that's all on just the G string, and then it's repeated on the D string, and then it's repeated on the A string, and then it's repeated on the low E string. So we start off, we're going to play the first one we're going to do is on the G string. So we got the string open, and it's a quarter note. So it's 1, and then on the downbeat of 2, we're going to go to the 2nd fret, and so this is 2, and then on the and of 2, we pull off to the open string. So 1, 2, and then on beat 3, we just move our first finger up now, so we're on the 3rd fret, 3, and the downbeat of 4 is the open string. The and of 4 is we hammer to the 4th fret. So that's our first measure. Okay, so when we do that hammer, we hammer to 4 on the and of 4, and then that's tied to the downbeat of 1 on the second measure. And then starting on the and of 1, it's the open string. And downbeat of 2, we go to the 5th fret. 2, and pull off. And then we, on the downbeat of 3, we start at now we're at the 6th fret with our first finger, and we're going to pick and hammer to the 7th fret twice for 3 and 4 and. So that's basically the riff. So it's 2 measures long. So so that's measure 1 and 2. And then measures 3 and 4 are the same. And then when we get to measure 5 and 6, it's going to be the same sequence but played on the D string, but it's the same frets. And that's all the further I've tabbed is just those 2 strings. But if you listen to the song, after, they get the... And then it just keeps repeating that, like I said, across all of those strings. So pretty easy to play. You just only need to use just the 2 fingers, but for the most of it, you're just going to use your 1 finger. All right, so there you have it. 3 fun, not too terribly difficult riffs from Mötley Crüe. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.